Welcome, my friends. Today we're going to uncover a truth that too many ignore. 90% of traders fail. Not because the market is unbeatable, not because the charts are impossible to read, but because their own minds betray them. To explain this, I want to tell you a story of patience, greed, fear, and redemption. I call it the tale of the watchmaker. There was once a quiet man named Elias. He lived in a small town where he worked as a watchmaker. Day after day, he sat with gears, springs, and tiny screws, patiently assembling time inside his little shop. Elias was known for his calm hands. No matter how delicate the mechanism, he worked without shaking. Customers admired his patience, his eye for detail, and his steady discipline. But Elias had a secret. He longed for something more. He wanted freedom, adventure, and wealth beyond what his shop could provide. One evening, while reading a newspaper, he stumbled upon an article about trading. It spoke of people making fortunes from the movement of markets. Elias was captivated. Markets, he thought, were like clocks, complex, precise, and driven by hidden mechanisms. If he could understand them, surely he could profit. And so the watchmaker became a trader.
At first, it was thrilling. Elias placed a few trades and won quickly. Money came in faster than he had ever earned in his shop. He felt powerful. For the first time in his life, he thought he had discovered a secret path to riches. He imagined closing his shop, traveling the world, and living free of limits. But what Elias didn't realize was that early wins are often a curse. They feed the ego, they whisper lies, they make us think we are invincible. And when we feel invincible, the market is waiting to humble us. Soon his trades turned against him. He entered too quickly, exited too late, fear whispered when he should have been patient. Great greed pushed him when he should have waited. The more he lost, the more desperate he became. He doubled down, trying to recover. He ignored his own doubts, convinced that just one more trade would save him. But the market is cold and indifferent. It doesn't reward desperation. It punishes impatience. Within months, Elias's trading account was nearly empty. His dream was collapsing. And here's the truth, 90% of traders fail, not because they lack knowledge, but because they lack control of themselves. Let's pause here. If you've ever felt the sting of fear or greed in your own trading journey, hit that like button right now. And drop a comment below. Tell me the biggest mental battle you face when trading. Your story might just help someone else win their battle too. One night, Elias sat in his workshop. The shop was silent except for the ticking of a half-repaired clock. He stared at a broken pocket watch in his hand. He thought about the market and how it mirrored his own emotions. And then it struck him. Trading was like watchmaking. Every gear must move with discipline. Every part must be aligned. If even one gear broke, fear, greed, impatience, the entire system collapsed.
It should be motivational. It wasn't the market that defeated him. It was his own lack of discipline. From that night, Elias changed. He didn't chase riches anymore. He didn't seek quick wins. Instead, he approached trading the way he approached his watches, with patience, precision, and care. He built rules as if they were gears in a clock. Risk management became one gear. Patience became another. Discipline was the balance wheel that kept everything steady. And slowly, the machine began to work. His results improved, not dramatically, not overnight, but steadily. Let me break it down for you. The 90% fail because 1. They chase quick money instead of building discipline. 2. They let emotions override logic. 3. They underestimate the power of patience. Elias learned this the hard way, but once he accepted that trading was not about beating the market, but about mastering himself, he crossed the line from the 90% to the 10%. If you're finding value in this story, if it's opening your eyes to the real reasons traders fail, don't just watch quietly.
hit subscribe, because here we not only trade charts, we train the mind. Months later, Elias faced his greatest test. A massive market opportunity appeared, the kind that promised fast riches. His old self would have jumped instantly. His hands would have been shaking with excitement. But Elias paused. He took a deep breath. He asked himself, does this trade align with my rules, or is this my greed speaking? He waited. He let the opportunity pass, and though it hurt in the moment, he realized something profound. True discipline isn't shown by the trades you take, it's shown by the trades you don't. That day, he didn't make money, but he built something far more valuable: mastery over himself.
Years passed. Elias never became a billionaire. He never drove exotic cars or flaunted wealth. But he became free, financially and mentally. He worked less in the shop. He spent more time with family. He lived with peace in his heart. His success wasn't loud, it was silent. And isn't that what true trading success looks like? Not flashy profits, but consistency. Not excitement, but peace. Elias's story teaches us something vital. The market isn't your enemy. The charts aren't your downfall. The real enemy, the reason 90% fail, is inside. Fear, greed, impatience, ego. But if you master these, you don't just trade better, you live better. If this story gave you clarity, if it lit a fire in you, then don't let it end here. Smash that like button, type discipline in the comments, and subscribe. Because the difference between failure and success begins with mindset. And together, we're building that mindset. This was T2, reminding you 90% fail not because the market is impossible, but because the mind is untrained. Train the mind, and the market becomes your ally. Stay patient, stay disciplined, and keep trading.